Hey, what's going on, guys? Devil18 Set Shadow here. We've got another small session today of a few cards. So, ultimately, there isn't too much news going on outside of the last minute qualifiers this month. And then we've got Worlds coming up for the beginning of February. So, definitely looking forward to seeing the results of that. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at today's singles. So our first one today is Dragon Song Flute, which has been one of the bigger legendaries out of set 2 to pick up, but we've got a lot of copies back on the market now, and the price has dropped somewhat to just under $10 for its base legendary, and then the super legendary is still on the more expensive side, but it's $29 to start off here. So while it's dropped off a little bit, Dragon is still one of the primary decks to play in today's format, so it's not too surprising that it managed to hold as much as it has. Then you've got Nature's Guidance, which is a pretty common staple to play in Forestcraft right now. This card is a silver from set 1, and currently has a lot of copies available on the market, 28 listings altogether, but it sells from a range of 50 cents to $1 pretty consistently from the looks of the data. Ultimately, its overall market price has taken a dip from the 70s to the 60s, and looking at currently available listings, once we get past the free shipping sellers, we've got only a few copies overall that are in the 50-cent range. So for the most part, this card is moving its way into $1 and will probably manage to settle itself there, as I don't think we're getting any more prints of set 1, so we'll see what happens there. Joan d'Arc's Ultimate Rare of the Evo version has seen a massive drop-off since we last saw this card, and overall the market price notes that it's on an increase here, but if you actually take a look at the available listings, the card's value has plummeted from the now $80-ish market price to just under $70 for the vast majority of listings that are currently available. When I was talking about this card back when set 1 was first out, this card had been jumping between 90 to 120, sometimes a little higher, and now it's just fallen off very hard. Then we've got Titania's Sanctuary, which is exclusive to the starter deck for Forestcraft. This is another dollar card. Overall, the market price has been seeing a decrease, but ultimately this card still sells every now and then, and the only listings available start at 93 cents and move their way up to $1 and beyond that. And given it is a starter deck card, well, it's just as long as the starter decks continue to be printed, but Titania's Sanctuary is definitely a good one to play for either aggro or, I'd say, tempo fairy forest. And it has, it's an interesting card to play at certain points. Then we've got Tokai Teo from Uma Musume, which I haven't covered that much, but this card is not one of those that tends to get pretty high. This is available within the Uma Musume starter deck as well, which can contribute to its overall lower price from the booster packs. And if you take a look at the super legendaries, they're not that expensive either. Both of them are in the $4 range for the base and the Evo, and then currently if you want to pick up the booster pack variants, they are just about $1.50 if you want to pick up the base form, and it's not even 20 cents on market price for the Evo. The signed versions are both sitting in the $110, $120 range, but nobody has bought a copy of the Evo version yet, which is sitting at just about $119. Alright, then we'll move on to Gold Ship, which this is still one of the funny cards that you can pick up from Uma Musume for Havencraft, but given the way that this card works, it is basically a Luxac card where everything depends on the top card of your deck, and then if it does manage to survive one turn, this thing could easily close a game once you get to 10 points. Just being able to deal 18 damage in one shot. Ultimately, when we take a look at the card's overall value for the base one, though, it's still very cheap to pick up. So if you want to make a funny deck around this card, it shouldn't be too difficult given that a lot of Havencraft is on the cheaper end right now outside of cards like Bellringer. And I guess if you're trying to play this, you might want to pair it with Aegis just for a greater value, but that ends up making it a more high-rolly deck, which, I mean, this card itself is high-rolly to begin with. So I guess it's just however you want to play the funny with that card. And the last card for today is Trial Initiation, which is one of the cards that got restricted in our format before we even got Uma Musume. It's a silver from the set, and right now it's very easily available for... We've got 45 listings on this, and most copies that are available right now are under 20 cents right now. So, still a very easy pickup, but you only can play one copy unless you're playing Swordcraft, in which case you could play 3 copies of this if you want, but it only searches for Uma Musume followers or B and W followers, which are all Uma Musume anyway, so it's very unlikely you're going to play this in pure Swordcraft as it is. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.